Switching gears slightly here, we'll get back to the 4-4 after we talk to this man, Jordan Schakel, San Diego State Aztecs junior guard. Really a tremendous season from you, Jordan. It's been a pleasure the whole way watching you, obviously having you on the show many times, and quite a run that we wish we could have seen the finish, and I'm sure you feel the same way. But still in school, and whatever that means right now. As a matter of fact, let's jump off there. How is school right now? These virtual classrooms, how are you handling this great transition that every student has faced during this pandemic?
Oh, first of all, I'd like to say thanks for having me again. And these online classes are pretty challenging for me. I'm an in-person learner. So having to be on Zoom with my professor is challenging, but it's just another obstacle that we all have to overcome at this point.
Jordan, it's also got to be challenging for you to be away from, your typical situation and routine on a basketball floor or in a gym. I know this team this past year, you guys were getting shots up when the coaching staff was saying, hey, take it easy. You don't need to be getting as many shots up, on off days and in preparation for game days. So how have you been able to stay fresh or stay healthy and, stay trying to keep your mind on the game?
Yeah, I think everyone on the team, being as hardworking as we were going borderline crazy without being able to get in the gym. All the outdoor courts, I know some of them have caution tapes around them. Some of them have the rims taken off. Everyone's trying to stay in the house. But as for me, I've just been trying to stay as active as I can, doing the in-home workouts, dribbling into my garage, going to the track when I can, just trying to do anything to keep my mind just and my body as in shape as possible.
Yeah, and the other unfortunate thing here is because we all went to college here, we all know how it goes. It's the best time of your life. You get invited to all the parties and you have a good time. Especially in the off season when you don't have to worry about being prepared twice or three times a week, or even for tournaments that come up. So what's taking its place of like a social life? Are you getting on? Do you play any video games? You start any new hobbies? How are you keeping yourself entertained? Because it can be difficult.
Yeah, for sure. Talking to my teammates as much as possible. I started playing MLB The Show. Those games take a long time to finish, so it's a good time waster. It takes a lot of skill to play that game too. So I've just been working on winning the World Series in franchise mode, but watching Netflix shows. But it's been pretty challenging because everyone knows Sdsu is such a great atmosphere. I think everybody misses that.
Jordan Schakel joining us right now on Xtra 1360. Jordan, I know you were very close, and you are very close with Malachi Flynn. What did you think of his decision to enter the NBA draft?
I'm very happy for him. I couldn't be happier, actually. I think it was the right time for him to go. This is just such an unfortunate time with all the workouts and stuff being canceled. Everything is just a little up in the air, but he just had such a tremendous season. MVP and Defensive Player of the Year is just incredible. So I'm happy for him. I couldn't be any happier, and I'm just looking to see how he fares in the NBA.
Yeah, us too. What a season for him, for you, for the whole Aztec squad. It just was so much fun. Viejas absolutely jammed on a nightly basis. Yeah, look, I think it was the right decision too. I support that full-heartedly. You mentioned Netflix. I caught myself, kind of asleep at the switch a little bit. Everybody's talking about this Last Dance documentary coming out. And I didn't know about it until like days before. And I was like, oh, man, they're going to go back and revisit the 90s Bulls. Now, I know you're a bit young as far as, Michael Jordan's time and his era in the NBA. But did you turn that on? Did you watch the first two episodes?
Yeah, I did. I actually watched them yesterday. I had them recorded on Sunday and then watched them yesterday. But, man, he's the greatest for a reason. It's just crazy watching how athletic he was. The game is different now. He'd probably shoot more threes. But I still think he'd be the best player in the game. Just nobody really wanted to mess with him mentally. And his athleticism would certainly still be at the top of the game today.
Jordan, do you find it funny to watch like the highlights from his time at UNC and even the shot he hits in the national championship game for UNC to win it? And there's no 3-point line.
Right.
Like, and that wasn't even that long ago. I mean, he's only in his 50s right now. So, I mean, can you imagine the sport the way it was just a generation ago? I mean, the 3-point shot has become the great equalizer in college basketball.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. When I watched that shot, he was so wide open. All they had to do was swing it around a couple of times. Like, that was the play call that they called, and that would never work today. But I think it just speaks to the increase in talent. Everybody puts in more work now. It doesn't necessarily mean that if players back then put in the same amount of work that we'd be better. I just think it's different times, and it's just cool to see how basketball has progressed. And then I'm sure 20 years from now, it's going to be they're going to look at our tape and say, how did he get that open on this shot? So I just think it's the progression of basketball as a whole.
You know, and I think about you as a player. I mean, you've hit so many clutch threes throughout your career so far. I mean, like, in some of it, you know, is it something you practice, like hitting as deep of a three as you can comfortably hit? Because I've seen you pull up from spots where I'm like, oh, there's no way. And I mean, it doesn't touch rim on its way to the net. It's incredible. You know, the talent that you and I mean, frankly, a lot of players have these days from range. Is that something you practice? Like, you just sort of work on the depth away from the line a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. As the season went on, I kind of just kept moving the line back in my head. In practice, I'd shoot a little deeper just to keep the defense off balance. And my dad always told me, like, the reason people can make threes at whatever line it is, at whatever level, is because they practice them. So, and I'm thinking, like, if I just move the line back in my head and practice it over and over, it'll be like a normal shot to me.
Jordan, I like this Aztec Rewind series that I saw today on GoAztecs.com, where we're looking back at some of the wins from the 2019-20 season. I got a kick out of watching that video earlier today where you're talking with Malachi, you're talking with Matt Soria. How much do you enjoy or embrace, you know, watching film in preparation to play a game or get better?
You know, I take great pride in that. I think our whole team does. And the opportunity that Matt Soria provided us with, I think it was just a great idea to be able to reminisce on that great Nevada comeback and just talk through it about what we were thinking to give everyone a little insight on, like, a behind-the-scenes director's cut version of, you know, how we thought during the game and what we thought when we hit that shot. And I think it was great. You know, it was fun for me to take part in it, and I hope the fans enjoy it.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been a ton of fun watching your career so far, 3 years, especially last season. I mean, the things you guys were able to do, and this is a deep team coming back, and so there could be a great opportunity for success in the future. You bring in Terrell Gomez, a lot of optimism around the program. Hey, Jordan, thank you for jumping on and spend some time with us.
Thanks for having me.